All right, listen to Rough Magazine show, which we changed it to Conversation Mike Sparks. I always get mixed up. Tiffany, how you doing?
I'm doing great. Thanks.
Good to see you. So it's Tiffany Parkinson.
Parker.
I'm teasing you. I was doing that to you a little while ago. You kept being real serious. Kept throwing up with different names. You know. So good to see you.
Likewise.
Man, we sure missed you.
Yeah, I missed you last night. Were you two there at Wings of Freedom?
Yeah, we had a good time.
Yeah.
Roger.
Yeah.
Some real nice guy hooked him up with some tickets.
Hey.
There was
hooked you up too. Hooked you up.
I don't know who did that.
This is CB.
No, but I'm glad you brought that up. The Wings Freedom Fish Fry was our 22nd annual Wings of Freedom Fish Fry put on by Smyrna Rotary Club at Smyrna Airport. That's raised, I think it's now probably hitting $2.2 million.
Oh, nice.
Wow.
$2.2 million for the community. And
very good.
A girl with VIP Magazine, Lee Rennick, come up and asked me for a quote. She just happened to see me going by, and I was like, okay. So I gave her this quote, and it's very off color. So you have to wait till the magazine comes out, and I may get in some trouble for what I said, but it's stuff I've said here on the radio, talking about the dysfunction I see in government and butt hurt, and lack of civility. But one thing, and this is kind of what I told her, and it's kind of in that context, it's just good to see people coming together.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Always.
And just working well together and serving fish, hush puppy. We were running behind on hush puppies for sure. But, had the little interact students. Well, it was a good thing. And plenty of catfish, plenty of chicken. And
pretty good.
We probably have 1,500 people there.
Yeah.
That's the biggest event in Smyrna.
Oh, yeah. Besides the ghost tours,
Oh, yeah. Well, you got ghost tours coming up.
Yeah, there was a family. I was out eating lunch with my folks after church today. There was a family to the right of us who said they were at the fish fry last night as well.
I got me couple to-go boxes, and Marty Luffman wanted me to drive his 55 Chevy over there.
Why didn't you?
Well, I did. I drove it, man. But the car kept stalling.
Oh man!
It stalled seriously like 12 times on me. It's an automatic, so I kept having to put it up into neutral. And if folks ever drove any old cars, you don't want to hit reverse, and so I stopped at Cane Ridge, right there at Old Hickory Boulevard. It stalled. I went down High Quaker Boulevard. I was afraid to get on I-24. Then it stalled at Bridgestone, right there, like Bridgestone Parkway or something, and Waldron. Then it stalled again. Then it stalled again. Then it stalled again.
Was it the driver or was it the car?
No, it was the car.
Okay.
And so on the way out,
let's clarify that.
But there's some other things I could elaborate on, but Smyrna police could be listening, so I better not. Well, they always say to take one of them cars and you just got to tromp it.
Yeah.
And just boom, blow it out, and I got to be careful, especially when things aren't legal. I'm just going to give you a hint. If Marty's listening, Marty, better get your tags, brother. Get your car registered. Anyways.
Throw him under the bus.
I know, but we got to get a car registered. But we had a great time. But it's folks coming together. I mean, Tiffany, you came. Casey Clark's sister Thee came. Diane Patterson came. So many people. Chuck Isbell and his
and
girlfriend.
a couple tickets he gave away as we were there, sitting there, and they came. Actually, my cousin, he told me to call my
I put
cousin.
him on Facebook. Said, hey.
Yeah, and I said, well, I don't have his number.
Yeah, and they got it. That was cool, But
Jeff Gill,
Jeff and Angie.
Yeah, Jeff and Angie Gill, yes.
It's but it went to good cause. But
I enjoyed. Hey, they really that was somebody that really appreciated Mike.
Yeah,
they really did.
Well, the tickets are $50 a piece.
Oh wow!
Now I appreciate you.
That whole thing cost me $1,000. I'm out of pocket $1,000. Just the frame I got for that Bill Lee poster that's being auctioned off on Bob Parks auctions.
They run about $278. I believe.
$250.
Okay.
And it's on the auction, and folks will bid on it. I think Jerome Dempsey going to set me in $250. I think he's going to bid on it. And then I got a football. I went out to UT this week and got Arion Carter, number 7 UT player. Great young man from Smyrna. He's Gatorade Player of the Year last year. And I got him to sign a bunch of footballs, and the footballs cost me $250.
And that guy showed yesterday, hey, those footballs are going to be worth something. That guy's good. Did
Well,
you
if
watch
you want
the
the
game?
football,
Did you go down to?
No.
Did you go down to? The
No,
Oklahoma
his
game?
grandmother. I had Bernice, Aaron's grandmother. She was going to come to Fish Fry, but she wanted to watch the ball game, and she didn't want to be at the Fish Fry and miss her grandson playing for UT. Yeah. So, anyways, the football is being auctioned off ballparksauction.com, I believe it is. Go to Wings of Freedom Fish Fry. I don't even know. I think it starts tomorrow on that. But the Bill Lee poster, it's I forgot how much it's, but there's some really good deals out there.
Man, there's all kind of trips. I mean, you see some of them trips are on there. I checked it out. It's a lot of good stuff. Some people are betting not that much, hoping somebody else wouldn't bet on it. You know, like I saw through that right off the bat. Oh, I see what y'all do.
Well, I'm hoping that's. I mean, the football, like I say, I paid $50 for just that one football, the collegiate football, and Aaron signed it. And I wanted Tony Campbell. Tony just got out of the hospital. Tony, you there?
Yes, sir, Mike.
Hey, I know you've been in the hospital. I know I just want to give you an opportunity. You know, a lot of folks didn't think you was going to pull through, and you're doing a little better. In fact, some young lady just texted me asking about you through Facebook, and but you had probably a few hundred people been calling you and texting you, checking on you.
Yeah, I'd like to thank you, Mike, though, for all reaching out to everybody, and then everybody praying for me. Prayers do work, but I would like to first of all say I talked to a guy that passed away on the motorcycle the other day. He was like a father to me. I'd like to please everybody pray for his family, his son, and all his.
And his name again?
And his wife is Mike Jenkins Sr.
Yeah, and he was the one killed right there at Singer and
Broad Street. Yes,
Broad, Murfreesboro Road, right there by.
You need to pay attention out here when they're driving these motorcycles. You got to look twice.
Oh, yeah.
And Tony, ironically, I was leaving my granddaughter's birthday party yesterday, and I came right up on it, right when it happened. I mean, I seen the motorcycle, and I already knew. I told my wife, whoever's on that didn't make it.
That's so sad. But he loved riding bikes, so, you know, at least he did die. And he believed in God, too, so we know where he's going. So that's the main thing.
Well, you had a question for me, and I didn't know about the family wanting to see him before he at the morgue, and I don't have an answer for you. Maybe there's somebody out there that knows.
We'll reach on that tomorrow, but what it is, I believe when somebody passes away, it should be the wife, the kids, the sister, these people, you know, out here making decisions for families. I just don't believe in that. We need to make some kind of law, because if somebody passes away, it's their right to be able to see their family members.
Yeah, and you're saying that the coroner didn't want them to see.
Yeah, the coroner was going to make the choice for them, which is not really their choice. It should be up to the families. But we'll work on that Monday, hopefully, and get that taken care of for them.
Because their family's going to have him cremated, right?
Yeah, they're going to have him cremated, but the coroner's office, I guess it might be the funeral home, which will give them a bunch of bad publicity if they do, but you have to let people see their family members.
Yeah, that's sad.
That would be their decision.
Yeah. Well, you said he had been calling you this week to check on you?
Yeah, unfortunately, he's called me and prayed with me every day, and he's like a father to me, and I just feel so sad for the family.
Yeah, you went over there after church day, didn't you?
Yes, sir, I did. They asked me to come over, which that's the least I could do is be there for them, do whatever I can, and I'm just going to pray for them. But you know, it's just a sad situation. We even talked about I was going to come see him every week, and we laughed about it. But man, you just never know when your last day is on this earth.
Yeah. Well, I just wanted to give you an opportunity to, you know, just pay respects to your friend. Give him few, you know, family some words of encouragement. It's just sad, you know.
Yes, sir, it is, Mike. Thank you for everything, Mr. Sparks, and Roger. You're a good man too. Thank you for all your prayers, guys. It really worked.
Yeah, well, I know you've been through a tough time, brother. Just hang in there.
Yes, sir. I enjoy it. Y'all guys have a good day.
Take care.
Hey, Tony, real quick. Hey, real quick.
Go ahead.
Yeah, this is Jeremy. This is here at the radio. Caught you at church today. Good to see you up and about. You know.
Yes, sir. Hey, I appreciate you coming over to me, man. It meant a lot.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Thank you, Jeremy.
Yeah, you have a blessed day now. All right.
Thank you, brother. Bye bye.
Yep.
Jeremy, I was asking Brian if we were able to play that song on what was that song you were getting down with?
Which
drums?
one? We had like 3 of them.
There was I knew I'd forget.
Was it the first one?
Village
Can
People.
you remember the name?
We ain't playing Village People in a Baptist church. What are you thinking?
I can't remember what it was, but I text Brian. He's like, "Hey, man, you can't play it because YouTube will kick you off or something, you know."
Yeah.
And you gonna play it?
Let's go play.
Oh, you are. Did you get the name of the song? You don't remember? Oh, it was
it the first one or the second one?
Man,
or the
I
third
don't.
one?
It's a strong. It's just a really good Christian song.
I've got the entire well, obviously we can't play it. We can't play it on air, but I still have it on my our church's church band.
Well, it's very
planning center.
encouraging. And
was it Goodness of God? Come thou Almighty.
I think it's Goodness of God. I think that was it.
It was the first one.
If
Probably.
I could find Brian Barrett's text in here among my 160 texts on my phone, but no, I didn't know. I didn't know if we were allowed to play it. I guess they bump
It's
it
that copyright
off.
thing kind of.
Yeah,
they do
they'll
it in
bump it
movies and
off.
things like that. You can't even play them at little places to make any kind of.
Oh, the Lion of the Lamb.
Lion of the Lamb.
Yeah,
Okay,
the Lion of the Lamb. But what we're going to be talking about on the segue here is just entrepreneurship. I know, Tiffany, you kind of brainstormed that idea.
Oh yeah.
Some of the endeavors you've got going on.
I do a lot of stuff, but one thing in particular I started back in 2018. I started a cleaning business, and I remember my husband, he was in between jobs, and he was able to work for me. I hired my brother, and I still have some of my clients that kind of way before COVID, after COVID, and so entrepreneurship, it is a way to go. It's a great option.
Yeah.
Well, tell folks that may not know you. I know you've been working at WGNS, 2 years now?
Yep, about 2
But
years.
you're also. Can you say who else you work for on air? I mean, are you allowed to?
I don't know.
I don't get no trouble. Well, just go ahead. And,
Yeah.
Who else?
Well, I'm in news. I'm a producer. I'm a production assistant at the news station. I do a lot of stuff. Last week I did IndyCar racing.
Oh.
Yeah.
Do you cover all that?
6 a.m. It was in Lebanon. It was right there in Speedway.
Wow.
So it was crazy.
Nashville Super Speedway.
Yeah.
Oh man.
It was crazy.
Yeah.
Well, you were
like it was fun.
saying. You were gonna. John DeBerry was in last week.
Oh yeah.
And I
See,
wanted
I
you to
missed
come
him last week,
Have
but
you
I
met
was in
John?
Indy. I wasn't, but I was in Indy last week. It was
Great guy.
John is a
really
fantastic. In fact, Joshua's joined us. Rosella's jump in here, Joshua. He was at the event with John. No, you need to cover that.
Yeah, I gotta come in. Like,
I mean,
I really want to meet him.
We hear about fake news.
Yeah.
It's real.
I
You know
believe
that?
it. Yeah.
For what happened to John, what the Tennessee Democrat Party did to John, took him off the ballot. March with Dr. King was at the mountaintop speech, and folks, you can't make this stuff up. It's so fictional. If you try to make a movie, nobody would want to produce it because it would seem so fictional of what happened to John. But God had a plan for John, because what they meant for evil, God used it for good.
That's right.
Because
Always.
the governor, Bill Lee, lifted him up, took him from making $24,000 a year. I don't think he likes me quoting his salary, Tiffany, but to about $170,000. You know what? Y'all get that?
Yep.
Went from making $24,000 to about $170,000, and the media's never covered it. If they have, I'll challenge anybody in the media to tell me who's covered this story about John DeBerry, because they hadn't covered it. Because this is the narrative and the fake news and the agenda-setting theory that's going on in this country. Sadly, I mean, this irritates me what's going on. But as I call it, spiritual warfare. You take a Christian, you take a man as strong of faith as him, that has been a minister, who marched with Dr. King, who watched the mountaintop speech hours before Dr. King was struck by assassin's bullet, and you take that man off the ballot, and then MTSU talks about the Constitution, and it's all fake, folks, what they done to Mike Pence, bringing up January 6th. I'll challenge them to have John DeBerry at your Constitution Day. I'll challenge them to just bring John DeBerry on stage. They ain't gonna do it because it doesn't. On him. It does not. They can't flip John. Let me tell you, that brother
John
right there is
flip
right.
It on him.
Yeah.
John will flip it on him.
But doesn't John? He did a great job of the day.
Oh yeah, phenomenal. He was at
Women
the
Republicans.
Federation of Republican Women here in Rutherford County.
Yeah. We're supposed to talk about entrepreneurship, but I mean, we're going to talk about John
whatever.
DeBerry.
Yeah.
John's got his own studio, I think, down there in Memphis. He's been inviting me to come down.
He has a company. He has a media company. He does videography and he does I
think he did. He was with Tiffany. You need to go interview him. He was down.
you should.
He started. I think he was with the news station down there in Memphis for a little bit. What is it? Okay, you're spelling something. I couldn't read it. But anyways,
keep going.
We're going to talk about entrepreneurship.
I was advertising Kroger.
I wanted Josh in here, Rosales. Mark Brassfield's going to call in here in just a little bit. Mark's got a new show. The new show led from the show that he's got started. It's called, I think it's Safe and Secure Show, 99.7. Saturday nights 5 to 6. It came to fruition from the gun safe legislation, which the media really doesn't talk about that neither, because it doesn't fit that narrative, you know. But anyways, Joshua, welcome to the show, brother. How you doing?
Hey, I'm doing great, Mike, thank you for inviting me.
All right, Jimbo.
I know. Thank you for inviting me.
So you become
Always
a
have
big
great
fan
time.
of John DeBerry.
You know, I have become a big fan from the first time that I sat in this chair and he called in, and the impact that he had just in those few moments of time that I heard him speak on the phone.
Yeah.
And then you encouraging me to connect with him, and then I did. We have, both Francis and I have gotten very close to John DeBerry, listening to his speeches with Latinos for Tennessee. Each time we open a chapter in a different county, he's our kickoff speaker, attending his speeches. Recently, like you were referring, the Federation of Republican Women last week, he was there. And after his speech, everyone was just, it's one of those things where you just don't want to leave. You know, he was just that.
And it's a humble guy too.
Yes. But he is, he's incredible. He's like family now.
Well, you know,
All
I've
because
often
of you,
said,
Mike.
Hey, the Lord works in mysterious ways. He can use anybody if he can use me.
John DeBerry is, he plays such a crucial role on the Lee administration.
Yeah.
And in 2 years, whoever is the governor, I would highly encourage them to keep John DeBerry on.
Who do you think is going to be the next governor?
There are a lot of theories. I mean, I've heard that Glenn Jacobs is running.
I've heard that.
I've heard that Speaker Sexton might be running. Mark Green.
Yeah.
Someone even said Marsha Blackburn, and I was like, I don't know about that, but you never know. And then of course, there's probably 2-3 others that are running, but it's going to be definitely going to be a very busy year with school board races, city council races,
county commission mayor.
Races, state rep races. I mean, you're
always running.
Every 2 years. So I mean,
old.
2026 is going to be a crazy year in politics, but it's going to be the most incredible and fascinating year.
Well, speaking of running for governor, Mark Brassfield, you there?
Yes.
Hey, how's things going?
Oh, going great. It's a beautiful day.
Well, I didn't get to listen to your new show. Talk about your new show.
Yeah, it's a Safe House Security show on between 5 and 6 on Saturdays on 997, and we talk about all things security. So, being in the safe and vault and security business, that's right up my alley.
Well, how many years, Mark? How many years you been in the business?
Oh, just a short while. 31 years.
Really?
Not too long.
31. Wow. Now, and before that, you were a pilot, right?
Yeah, I did both for a long time, for 20-something years. And I got tired of being gone all the time and had seen the world, so I thought I'd just stay at home here in Middle Tennessee. So.
Well, that name you come up with, who gave you that idea for that name?
The Safe House Security Show or the Safe House?
This radio show. Who gave you the idea?
I don't know. You?
I'm just kidding you. Are you going to stick with? Because see, they asked me to come up with a name. Brian and Dalton, like 3 or 4 years ago, I've been doing this, and I just had. They gave me like 10 minutes, and I had to come up with something. And then I was like, I don't know, man. This Rutherford magazine show, I need to come up with something because it's broader than just Rutherford. But are you going 5 years from now? Are you going to be happy with that name, or are you going to branch out to bigger, larger things?
Well, I'd initially started, I was going to call it the Safe House Security Hour, but that was a little limiting. So if I podcast it or something like that, if I'm going to, I thought Safe House Security Show was a little bit better. And I took some votes of different people, and they liked it. So,
yeah.
And I
it's
ran
good.
with it. But,
What topic?
yeah.
What's your main topic you cover?
Well, being in the safe and vault business, I cover that, but I'm, security covers such a large umbrella, under a large umbrella. I mean, I talk about politics, cybersecurity, emergency preparedness.
Yeah, we had a good show. We had a good show last week.
No, and of course I talk about interesting individuals like Mike Sparks. So representing.
Well, that bill we were talking about earlier. I talk about miracles and God at work. I mean, I do think that bill, because when you're in office, I just happened to hear your commercial and just call you and wanted you to help me, and I asked you if you were a Christian in the office. You said yeah, and then I said let's pray about this bill, and we walked in there and we passed it.
It definitely worked out well. That's for sure.
I mean, it really was. The bill hadn't passed in several years. Or it never had passed, and I mean that's where the Lord will open the doors if you call on Him. It doesn't mean you don't go through hard times and stuff. But Mark, Joshua here is the one I was telling you, because remember I had told you I was at your office. It was about 2 years ago, and I heard this Hispanic guy telling your clerk, I think I've shared this with Joshua, and he says, hey, why don't we have a Latinos Day up in here and serve some chips and salsa? And I was like, and I heard it, and I was like, well, this is interesting. So when he went to leave, I said, hey, man, you got to get involved with Latinos for Tennessee. And he looked at me like I was making this up. I said, no, seriously, there is a group called Latinos for Tennessee.
Yeah, it's an active group, very active group.
Well,
we've been around for a long time.
Can be for Tennessee, I think we all, to a certain extent, want the same thing.
Yeah, our Latinos for Tennessee is Tennessee's largest conservative Republican Hispanic PAC. We have about 2,000 individuals that are associated with Latinos for Tennessee. We're doing a lot of great work, have great, I'm starting chapters and got 4 counties right now, working on the 5th county. We're out there door knocking, making phone calls, campaigning for candidates, and really moving the needle. I like to be around people that are moving the needle in politics or just moving the needle in general. A lot of people are doing stuff and they're not moving the needle. And I know a lot of people, and probably everybody here does, but it's like I love being around like-minded people that if you're in motion, you got to be moving the needle. You got to be moving the needle. And you're only good as you were yesterday, and tomorrow you have to be better than you were today, constantly moving the needle.
Yeah. Mark, you need to have him on your show one day.
No, hey, I'm all about stuff like that, and I totally agree. I mean, if you're sitting still, you're going backwards. So, I mean, because everybody else
come
is
on,
running
preach.
out
Are
of
you a preacher?
Me? I can preach it now if you want me to, but I've never been on in a pulpit before or
Mark,
anything like that. But I can preach it a little bit.
We're talking about entrepreneurship and how you got in the business. Just share how you kind of got in the gun safe business.
Well, I mean, I guess I'm going to be kind of corny here, but I'm being serious. I was an entrepreneur when I was in 2nd grade. I used to buy candy at a convenience store. Me and my mom stopped for breakfast when she took me to school, and I used to sell the candy at school until the principal got mad at me because he thought I was taking advantage of the other kids. But it was, I mean, to me, that's pure capitalism. But I mean, I've always been an entrepreneur and always, been dabbling in various things. And then I was flying and through various, things happening. I started, selling safes and gun safes and stuff like that. But I mean, I've always been an entrepreneur at heart. And I think a lot of times people just have a certain knack for things, and like you said, I mean, God, leads us to, if we ask for his guidance, he'll definitely lead us there. So, I mean, but, sometimes God speaks in whispers. You got to listen to him. You got to be quiet and listen to him. But, I mean, I started selling safes and, I'm full of sayings, and one of my favorite sayings, if you're not lead dog, the scene never changes. So I'm all about being number one, and I think being number one, you need to be, run your business with ethics and honesty and stuff like that. And, of course, in the security business, that's, a very important thing. You want to be able to trust somebody that's in the security business.
Yes.
That would be bad if you couldn't. But, I think, people being entrepreneurs, I mean, that's really what drives our country, small business and stuff like that. So, I mean, I'm definitely a small business guy.
Have you got, you kind of nicknamed your, I guess, the bunker, you're airing the show from the bunker.
Yeah, the Safe House Bunker.
Have you got to do, I know you were going to decorate, change some things around. Have you got to work on some of that?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, you get little mementos of, different things in your life, and I'm slowly putting them up. It's changed a little bit since you've been there, and it's an ongoing process.
I was just there last week.
At the bunker?
I know, I've already,
I've changed it around.
Stuff. I found a big container full of stuff, because with the airline business, I flew all over the world, so I've got little things I'm going to put up, it's kind of cool to put up mementos of things you've done.
You have any, like, aircraft dropping down from the ceiling? That would be neat. That would be cool.
No, but I think having interesting people like you and the stuff on the show, I mean, because you always have interesting people on your show, and I mean, and that's good, to hear other ideas and stuff like that. And you would have been intrigued of a conversation I had at a Chick-fil-A up in Mount Juliet. This guy that had Trump derangement syndrome.
At Chick-fil-A?
Yeah, Chick-fil-A, and I was the owner, who's Ray Daniel, up in Mount Juliet. He invited me to sit down, and boy, I didn't know what I was getting into, but you'd have been proud of me. I held my own. So
good. Sometimes you got to just chill.
Trump hate.
You got to just chill. There's a lot of hate out there.
It's like, take a deep breath, but no, Mike, I mean, having you on my show, I enjoyed doing that, and I always, appreciate you having me on your show, and I think that's what our country's, should be, where we share ideas, and even though we may not agree with somebody, I told you, at least talk to them.
Bob, I call Bob Freeman, Democrat in Nashville, because Bob spoke up for the legislation, and Chris Todd spoke up for legislation. It's a bipartisan piece of legislation. I say it's the best piece of legislation come out of General Assembly this 113th General Assembly. But you ought to have Bob come up there, maybe have Chris Todd at the same time, and Glenn Jacobs. Remind me, I'll get you Glenn's number, and you may just call it, just Google it, and you'll probably find it. And there's a good opportunity, good probability that he may be the next governor of the state of Tennessee, and then have the governor up sometime. Well, I wanted in the final few seconds before we take a commercial break, what 3 tips, if anybody's wanting to get into their own business, what would you say to start their own?
Oh, my goodness, you're putting me on the spot here.
Real quick.
Watch your money, number one. Watch your money. And, if you have partnership agreements, good partnership agreements make good partners. Always write it down, because you forget what you said.
Yep.
And did I say watch your money?
Yeah.
Yep.
Always watch your money. Don't think just because you have this idea and everything you're going to make money out of. You got to be really frugal with your money, but and pray and ask for guidance. And of course, you always have to sell something somebody wants.
Yes.
Whether it's information or a product.
Yeah. Exactly. Well, one thing.
Don't be afraid to be yourself. That's one thing I've learned in my business.
Well, you're definitely real. But speaking of real, because if people hear your commercials and see when Bob Freeman spoke up, I seen him, get the chairman's attention when we passed that legislation, or before we passed it, and I thought, oh man, he's going to give us a hard time, because your radio commercials, if anybody's heard your commercials, they're probably the most hard hitting, politically incorrect commercials, possibly in Nashville for sure. Maybe there's somewhere else out there.
Thank you.
You are. But folks that don't know you, they may think you're, a little hardcore. I mean, well, you kind of are, but when I was on with you, remember what you talked about? The K word.
Hey, we've talked about so much stuff, and you're going to have to help me out on that one.
Yeah, you talked about kindness, how that was important.
Oh, no. I mean, you got to have a sense of humor. I mean, I started all this with the Obama Safe Special.
Yep.
But you gotta laugh, and I mean, if you're a Republican, Democrat, conservative, liberal, whatever, I mean, you gotta laugh at stuff, and just you can't take stuff so serious. Now there are serious subjects.
Yeah.
But I'm a firm believer in, if you don't like someone's business, just don't go don't
Amen.
don't go give them any business. But
Yep.
I mean, I have plenty of people who agree with me. And look, I'm a kind of a softy sometimes about stuff.
You?
But, I mean, I'm firm in what I believe, and if I can say this saying correctly, if you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything.
Yes.
That song.
Yes.
That's what it is. I mean, but if someone disagrees with me, as long as you can back up what you say,
Yep.
I'll sit and respect you. I may totally disagree with you, but if you can back up what you say, hey, I respect you. I may disagree with you, but I respect you for being able to stand up. Now, if you can't stand up for what you're saying, man, we got another story. But
Exactly. Well, I'm going to put Joshua in touch with you. Maybe you can have him on the show sometime. Talk about growing segment of Latino audience that need to invest in gun safes and safe storage firearms. Good issue.
My general manager, his wife, her name's Montserrat, but she's from, and I can't say the name of the city in Mexico. It starts with a Q, I think. But she's Hispanic, and hey, Hispanics buy safes too. I mean,
Exactly.
and it's, but yeah, I'd love to do that, and get me some information, and definitely. And I always appreciate you having me on the show.
Yeah, we'll hook you up, Mark Brassfield, the Safe House on 4th Avenue South. Thank you so much, Mark.
Hey, have a good evening.
All right, take care. Let's take a quick break, Tiffany. Be right back.
Hello and buenos dias. I'm Lisette Lopez, your bilingual real estate agent at Keller Williams Murfreesboro. I specialize in helping you make informed decisions that align with your goals. I'm offering free classes from how to fix your credit to investing to create generational wealth. Start your real estate journey with Lisette Lopez today. Call me at 954-552-4932. The number again is 954-552-4932. Or browse my website at lopezsellstn.kw.com. Thank you.
Josh Moss with Affordable Heating and Cooling provides residential HVAC and duct cleaning services to the Middle Tennessee area. With more than 20 years of experience, Josh Moss and the AHC team provide 24/7 service and take care to ensure whatever work you need done is done in a professional, timely manner. Contact AHC at 615-745-1676. That's 615-745-1676. Or go to their website at affordableheatingandcoolingtn.com.
Most people know that their insurance can provide them with coverage for the many life's mishaps. But I can help you also unlock discounts, save money, and get benefits with Farmers Insurance policy perks. Whether we're discussing home or auto insurance, I am here to help you understand these great perks. Call me, Mark Lewis, at 615-625-7070 for a quote, and you can get a whole lot of something with Farmers policy perks.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
Not available in every state. Only available with select Farmers branded policies underwritten by Farmers Truck or Fire Insurance Exchanges or affiliate.
Mike and Felicia Sparks, owner of the Vanity Zone Salon, want to invite you to stop in for your next haircut or color. Their stylists Michelle, Tori, Tracy, Brandy, Sarah, and Gail offer the best creative cuts and color for all ages, for men and women. The Vanity Zone is located at 732 Nissan Drive in Smyrna, to the right of the Crystals Restaurant. To look and feel your best, visit the Vanity Zone Salon today. Call 615-355-1721 to book your next appointment.
At Dr. Automotive in Smyrna, we're committed to providing local car owners with top-notch auto repair services. With over 2 decades of experience, our ASC-certified master technicians are experts in both foreign and domestic vehicles, ensuring accurate diagnosis and timely, cost-effective repairs. From oil changes to major engine and transmission repairs, we've got the cure for your car. Dr. Automotive, keeping your car running smoothly, mile after mile. Visit our website, smyrnaautorepair.com.
Hi there, my name is Rusty Russ. I, along with my sons, Luke and Reed Russ, sell real estate for Stevens Group in the Middle Tennessee area. We are a team of professionals who have the knowledge of local and regional market, which allows us to offer you a full range of commercial, industrial, residential, and investment real estate services, matching our resources with your needs. You can call us at 615-366-8900 or at my cell 615-406-5553 or email jrustyrust@comcast.net.
AFFI is Middle Tennessee's premier choice for pest, wildlife, and moisture control. They specialize in those difficult and unique cases. You can reach them by phone at 615-300-2395. That's 615-300-2395. Or stop in at 200 Glenrose Lane in Smyrna.
Hey, Middle Tennessee, it's Mark from the Safe House. And now the security riddle of the day. What's less secure than a fake safe from a big box or furniture store? Joe Biden's fake border policy, of course. But hey, there is good news. This time next year, Joe Biden will not be president. So drop by the Safe House and check out the largest selection of safes in the Southeast. Build a wall around your valuables with a safe from the Safe House. We have certified delivery crews to deliver and install your safe. Don't let a crackhead or illegal deliver your safe. With over 30 years in the safe business, the Safe House is the place to buy a safe in Tennessee. So go to NashvilleSafeHouse.com.
Most people know that their insurance can provide them with coverage for the many life's mishaps. But I can help you also unlock discounts, save money, and get benefits with Farmers Insurance policy perks. Whether we're discussing home or auto insurance, I am here to help you understand these great perks. Call me, Mark Lewis, at 615-625-7070 for a quote, and you can get a whole lot of something with Farmers policy perks.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
Not available in every state. Only available at select Farmers branded policies underwritten by Farmers Truck or Fire Insurance Exchanges or affiliate.
My wife and I enjoy going by Yard Sale Inc. We usually go to both locations, the one in Smyrna as well as the one in Murfreesboro. A lot of times on Saturday mornings we stop by, and their inventory changes weekly, so you never know what you're going to see, and it's mostly open box. The name fits it. It's exactly that. It's a yard sale. If you don't totally agree with the price, the staff is always friendly and nice and willing to work with you.
That's the Yard Sale Store in Smyrna at 111 Enon Springs Road West, in Murfreesboro at 204 South Front Street, and online at bestdealintown.com.
Josh Moss with Affordable Heating and Cooling provides residential HVAC and duct cleaning services to the Middle Tennessee area. With more than 20 years of experience, Josh Moss and the AHC team provide 24/7 service and take care to ensure whatever work you need done is done in a professional, timely manner. Contact AHC at 615-745-1676. That's 615-745-1676. Or go to their website at affordableheatingandcoolingtn.com.
Hey, I'm Floyd, and I'm inviting you to join me at CR. That's Celebrate Recovery. We meet at Family Worship Center, 3045 Memorial Boulevard on Sunday at 6 p.m. We're a 12-step Christ-centered program that offers help for all the hurts, habits, and hang-ups that's causing you pain. The program works if you work it, and I'm proof. For other CR groups, go to CelebrateRecovery.com and click on the group finder. Hope to see you soon.
Should have, Paul.
Oh. Okay. All right, we're back. Is that right, Tiffany? Tiffany, you're a lovely lady. Isn't she lovely, y'all?
Oh, yeah.
She really is.
She's on the ball.
She's got a beautiful spirit
That's
about
a
her.
good song.
You know, you really do. And you've got a
Carlton
child.
dance.
You got a child, right? And your husband. What's your husband's name?
Hey, y'all. Sorry, we're over here sharing headsets. Yeah, so my husband's name is Tony. And our son, he made 12 yesterday.
Oh, 12. Yeah. You got a 12-year-old?
Yeah, yesterday he made 12.
Serious?
They grow fast.
Happy birthday.
Yeah, like a week.
I know.
I wish. Need some eye cream.
You'll look old enough to be a 12-year-old.
But yeah, he
they grow
made 12.
fast.
And we started out with the Ronald McDonald House yesterday. We did a 6 o'clock run. And then we did Heart Association run about 8 o'clock.
Yeah.
And then we finished up the night out with you guys with Wings of Freedom.
Yeah.
I think I'm sorry.
Last night was incredible.
It was, and the live music
Yes.
was phenomenal.
Who
What was her
was
name?
there?
Laurel? Was it
Laurel Taylor?
Yes.
Laurel
Taylor.
she sounded.
Yeah,
she
she was
sounded
good.
great. The audio, everything. The crowd was rocking. You should have seen her when she asked she was like, "Anybody a Taylor Swift fan?" And even the kids that was like cleaning up, they're not really kids, but
Yeah.
they were running. They were sprinting to go get someone that was taking out the trash to come back to the dance floor. I mean, it was really nice.
It was great.
It was family oriented. It was really nice.
Well, a lot of those Interact kids had stepped up. Stewart's Creek, Laverne High, Smyrna High School, and man, they worked hard. But I'm going to tell you something that disappointed me. I shared this in Sunday school class, not to be a Debbie Downer. When we did the Pledge of Allegiance, a lot of them kids didn't put their hand over their heart, and that kind of bothered me, just to be honest with you.
Oh yeah, they just stood there.
Well, my dad was stationed there at Stewart. I mean, a lot of men left that air base and never returned home. Oh, and that kind of bothered me. I don't know how we address that in the school system. Maybe that's a job for your wife, Frances Roselle's on the school board. Maybe she can address it. It just worries me that we're losing this next generation.
Well, a lot of the schools, it's required. If I'm not mistaken, it's required by law that the high schools really push for voter registration. And high schools, from my understanding, don't really push voter registration in high schools. And it's supposed to be one day that it's dedicated to pushing or encouraging young people to vote, whether, no matter how you vote, but just to register to vote. Yeah. So that's something that's happening. I mean, actually, I think it's happening in October. And that's something I would really like to get into is getting into the high schools and say, I don't care, your political affiliation. I just need you to register to vote. It's just civics, and civics aren't really taught as much in school.
Well, I can just talk about that real quick. I remember, I want to say it was in the middle of, how many terms did Bush serve? 2? He served 2?
Yep.
It was in the middle of his second term in midterm, so I want to say 2006. I can't believe I remember this, but we in kindergarten, we're just exercising. We obviously the vote didn't count, but they went through the whole voting process, putting a ballot in a box, paper ballots in a box.
Yeah, even writing notes then.
Yeah.
The school system was totally different. I mean, you learn how to write and postage to stamp, and in cursive. That was a staple.
Yeah, I went to go vote with my parents.
Yeah, we were doing that in kindergarten.
Yeah.
Just practicing that, just getting kids exposed to the voting process. And it's just now it's just
But you know what? There's less than 10% of people vote now. So, I mean, you got to go figure. This is all about the parents and how they're raising their kids nowadays, where they're not raising them to be patriotic or their civic duty. And so, I remember when I was young, my parents would take me, they would tell me what lever to push, and I would push the lever, and we would vote, and it was instilled in me from a young age to vote, and it's just really sad because it starts with the parents. Everything starts with the parents at home, from voting to behavior to, reason why our young people are all, messed up is because the family at home is dysfunctional.
So as outside spectators, how do we combat that? How do we?
I think it takes a lot of time, and it's going to take a lot of effort. And I can speak from my part that when it comes to politics, is we have a group that I started. It's called Young Leaders in Politics. And Young Leaders in Politics, we have high schoolers and some college students that are hungry to get involved in politics. And so what I've done is I've really, and it's growing, but really engaged them in the political process. And for our primaries, they were out there waving signs with us, knocking on doors with us, and it's really a push, and it takes a lot of time and effort. But when you're seeing them growing into that, and you're seeing them more engaged, there's two. In my mind, I could be totally wrong, and I know I'm not, but minorities and young people are the two groups that are not voting.
Yeah.
And that's what Latinos for Tennessee is. We identify, educate, and activate. We identify minorities, whether it's Hispanic, Black, even white. It's identifying through conversation, and then educating, and then activating. And it's we have to get involved. And a lot of young people are wanting to get involved. They want to get involved. But it's looking for a needle in a haystack. It's looking for young people that are really wanting to get involved in politics. And politics for a lot of young people seem boring, but when you're in politics, it is not boring. To be able to door knock, door knock for Mike Sparks to say, "Oh, how do I get involved?" Well, let me go door knock and campaign for Mike Sparks,
Right.
and then when session starts, to be able to be a page or to be able to have these different programs that you can be in and be down there, really getting involved in legislation. I mean, young people, once you're in it, it's incredible, but it is finding a needle in a haystack, and we're doing a
It's a
great
job,
job.
man. Trying to
Let's say,
knock on doors is hard.
You're saying like some people find boring. Some people just don't know how to get started. And like you said, just doing like seeing like if there's a candidate out there, hey, can I go door knock for you? Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
You know, my mother used to say, "You have not because you ask not." I mean, she drilled that in my head. I got involved with Donna Barrett. Donna Barrett had asked me to help, and I was probably 28 or 30, and like Mark asked me, you know, Brassfield on his show last week, we pre-recorded. He said, "How'd you get in politics?" I said, "You really want to know?" I mean, you really want to know? I said, "I prayed." I said, "I asked God to lead me out of this plant." I was working at Nissan, and the Lord, I kept feeling it in my spirit to call Bob Spivey. You know what Bob Spivey looked like? He was talking about entrepreneurship because that's supposed to be our subject title tonight. But Bob was one of the most successful entrepreneurs in Middle Tennessee. I mean, he even had the vision to bring Motlow College to Smyrna. He had the vision to start to sell Cracker Barrel, all the hotels in Smyrna, Rush Trucking. He owned Starbucks, sold IHOP's site, sold Chili's location, sold Logan's Roadhouse, or not Logan's, what's the other? No, Logan's right there. Developed all that, and we done a little business deal.
That whole area
Bob
that's
did
been
all
developed.
that.
Wow.
Because he had overpaid me on a business deal. I think I was sharing with you, Tiffany. He overpaid me, and I thought, I wasn't even elected. I thought, why is this guy's overpaid me? And so I called him back, and I remember I was in front of St. Luke's Catholic Church where I grew up right there, going to that church, and I said, called him back. Remember, he was not mayor. I was not elected. I said, "Sir, you've overpaid me by about $235. And he said, "Come back and see me." And he, like, when I got in there in his office, he had a big old concept map. The concept plan, it's like an overview of what you wanted to plan, and it was all that. Target was Target and all that. But he didn't put Target movie theater. He owned the dealership. He owned the Chevy dealership. So he wanted to put this Chevy dealership over there. And he said, "I'm going to do all this." And I thought, yeah, you're full of it. I didn't believe him.
Isn't that
and he
something
got me,
about people
but he had that faith.
Don't believe you when you say you're going to do something, you know? Isn't that something about entrepreneurship?
Well, like he said, I'm going to bring a college to Smyrna. And we needed a college. You know, and not many people give Bob credit for that. But I remember Bob, in fact, I've got the evidence on the radio because he was like, "I predict we're going to have 7,000 students." And finally they named the third building, which was $40 million back then. It'd probably be $80 million under Bidenomics right now with all this inflation that we're seeing. But Bob, you know, I was with Bob when he died. He was paralyzed and he couldn't move, and I prayed for him to pass. And I think I shared with y'all before on the radio, I spoke at his funeral, then his hearse passed me the next day. And in fact, it was in front of Advanced Auto Parts, which he owned, Southern Bank, which he owned, the real estate, Baldy and Smyrna. And I thought, well, I wonder who that is. It's, and, you know, passing by in the hearse, being escorted by a fire chief and 3 cops. And I thought, wait, that's Bob. I don't know if you've lost anybody. You know, it's just you reminisce and sad. And then, well, I guess I won't see him no more. And I got on Samuel Parkway, which I got to name it Boss Bobby Highway for a mile before he died. And my wife called. She said, "Just want to let you know, Bob mailed you a campaign donation." And she knew nothing about the hearse passing me. What's the odds of this man passing me in the hearse dead and I get a check in the mail? Well, how do you factor the probability? You can't.
You wrote it really quick.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
This guy.
You know, but I even challenged my professor, Keith Claxton. Keith Claxton, if you're listening, brother, I'm going to challenge you to debate on WGNS. He was my probability and statistics professor. I called him about a month ago. I said, "Hey, man, will you come up on the radio?" And he was scared. He was scared. Keith, if you listen, I know you're scared, brother. And he goes, "Mike, I can't factor that." I said, he said, "Mike, things are just so improbable. You just can't explain them.
Yeah.
You just can't explain it. But if God's involved, it's unexplainable anyways, you know?"
Yep.
So even Einstein said coincidences are God's way of remaining anonymous. Y'all ever heard that?
No, but I like it, Einstein.
Yep.
That's Einstein. That ain't me saying that.
He's moving the needle.
Yeah.
You know?
Mike Sparks, the biggest entrepreneur of them all, right?
Oh,
yeah?
shoot.
Yeah,
I'll tell you what.
you know Mike
You don't
Sparks
wanna-
has Mike Sparks has books, right?
Yes, he
We
has
don't
3.
talk
yeah.
about
What's
books.
yeah, you're
There's a book
you're an
called
author.
there's a book called
at
Learn to Barter. You ever
Yeah,
read that
That's
one?
a bartering.
Mike Sparks. So Mike, when did you become an entrepreneur?
Tell me about the writing part. I'm in the
Yeah,
process
book?
of
look at it
writing.
now. We're gonna turn the tables on
Yeah.
Mike. We're gonna turn the tables on Mike.
I started hustling when I was like 10. No, I'm
Okay.
teasing
What was your
you.
what was your
No,
what was your
Major
first-
Walls. Major Walls had influence. He owned Omni Hut. Then he owned the Country
There you
Club.
go, flip
Then
that
he
on
owned the
us.
Woodshed. But they were my neighbors, so I had
What an
influence on
honest
them.
guy.
Good. You're an expert at flipping this.
Well, but that's seriously. That's why mentors are so important.
I agree.
Like Jeremy, he's a young cat. What are you, 23? 24?
You flatter me. You flatter me. Yeah. No, I'm 25, son.
But you got to find people
I'm kidding.
that you're like-minded with.
That's right.
And God will use, like Bob.
Yeah.
What's the odds? See, I would disagree with Bob. I was the only one to disagree with him.
Oh.
And he told somebody, I can't go in detail, but he said, the problem with me is if you donate to Mike, he'll vote against you. But see, and I like Bob, not being disrespectful, but Bob wanted to control. He was like a chess game. And that's what leaders do. They put their players, they put their pawns out there. I never was a pawn. But we lined up on 95% of everything. I'm going to tell you how much a visionary this guy was. Enid Springs, where the police department is.
Yep.
That was the former, like a hospital healthcare building
I
one time. You remember that?
Yeah, I remember when it was the hospital.
I remember Bob told me, he said, I'm going to buy that, and we're going to turn it into the police department. And I thought, yeah, right. He did it.
Why did you always think
Because
right?
that's like grandiose. I mean, who's going to say, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do all that?
But he did it.
And he made it happen.
And he did it again.
I think it's the whole like I'm going to. It's you're more used to hearing I might do this. When you hear someone
he
say
was confident.
Yeah, when you hear someone say I'm going to do this, you're like, no, that's you're
Well,
full of it.
here's something and maybe this could spill over into Angela and her show talking about faith. And I remember I was so worried when I first ran for office. You know, I didn't have certain last names like Thomas or Rosales or Smithson or Parker. Is it Parker? Okay. I didn't have certain last names. My mom's from Scotland. You know, my
I
dad's from
love
Oklahoma.
Sparks. I would take Sparks.
I'm into that.
And so I remember I was going to run. I prayed about it, and he called me. He wanted me to run for office. You know, I mean, the odds of him calling me is so slim. You know, why'd he pick me and got an incumbent there? And then all of a sudden, the guy got in the race who was on the school board. So I had 2 incumbents, and I was so down and out. And I called him. I remember I was at my car business on the big phone. Remember we had big phones back then. You know?
Yeah.
And I said, sir, now Cecil Lee got in there. And Cecil's kin to everybody in Smyrna. And so so Bob says, you don't worry about Cecil. Don't worry about the other guy. You look forward and don't you ever look back. Look forward and don't look back. But, you know, God used him. There's no way I could make this up. There's no way I could strategically put these things in place. So God will work it out in your life if you call on him.
Did you ever try texting on those old phones?
No, we didn't. There was no texting back in, bro.
The texting on the 3 times.
You're talking
to get
about the big old like things that look like a
You
big
know, you had
phone
the-
radio.
the big old
You're talking
things
about
with the
the brick phone?
antenna.
Yeah, it
The
was a
brick
phone inside my business, and then I had the remote phone. I'd walk outside.
The brick phone.
I would guess it's
Yeah,
wasn't
it
a
was
cell
a big
phone.
one.
Was
It
it
was a-
gray?
Oh, I don't know what color it was.
Yeah, I
The
remember
last
that.
8 minutes we're going to talk about phone technology.
Oh, no.
It was a big phone, but the point I'm making is like at our salon when I was, I remodeled. That was our first house. I bought it when I was 22. Give God the glory for it. And my wife was 19, just a little baby. She was 15 when I started dating her. You're talking about a baby. And I was 19, was breaking the law, I guess you could say. And I remember I was remodeling.
still together.
I was remodeling the business, and Bob, I took the whole kitchen and made it a break room for the girls. Well, guys, I mean, we take guys if we need to. Like ones cut hair. And Bob seen it. He says, "Why don't you make a salon station back there?" I said, "Well, Bob, I want that for the girls to have a break room, to relax." He says, "Tell them to go to McDonald's." What? And then I had this Italian guy who was a business guy that come by, and he used to own a salon, and he come by and he said the same thing. He said, "What are you doing with the back kitchen?" I said, "Well, I'm gonna make that air for the girls to relax and have a break." He goes, tell them to go to Sonic or something like that. And I remember when Bob told me, I was like, did you talk to Frank? He goes, Frank who? And both them guys, but see, both them guys it was all the dollar.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes you can't look at just the dollar. You got to look at the relationships and everything else.
Yep.
But Bob, when he died, he paid off the Bible study we go to, that Joshua showed up and Roger showed up and Chuck Isbell showed up and Tony Campbell showed up. We've got up to 140 guys now. Jeremy hadn't showed up yet. But Bob paid that church off.
We can't do it this Saturday because it's the Georgia game, but go on.
Yeah, but Bob paid that church off.
Wow.
Bob did a lot of good things that he doesn't get a lot of credit for. But Motlow College, that was Bob Spivey.
Look at that.
I thought AJ was going to call in, your friend.
Guess not. We'll
talk about her business in the last few minutes we have.
So, Andrea Robinson, known as AJ here in the community, she has AJ Hall over on South Church Street. Probably this year, Easter, Frances, my wife, had a call and said, "Hey, we're trying to get some elected officials to come out here and be a part of this Easter build a basket event." And so my wife, Frances, and I will go out there and we meet with AJ, and she's done such a great job in the community. She's definitely a staple in the community. She has AJ Hall, which is an event venue. She also has Alpha Omega, where she mentors youth, black youth, high school age, some college age, on business, starting your own business. Incredible program, Alpha Omega, AJ Hall. She's constantly just hustling. Like, she has her 9 to 5, and then she has the venue. She's booking the venue. She's mentoring kids, high schoolers, and just her passion and heart for it.
Them two need to meet, don't they?
Oh, yeah.
If I could just tell you the other stuff I do, it's crazy.
Us three we really need to sit down, because AJ and I started partnering, and we're going to be partnering.
He's had some powerful people over there.
Oh yeah.
Secretary of State.
Yeah, we've had Secretary of State. I got Attorney General coming up next month in October. John DeBerry putting together a big visitation with Secretary John DeBerry, some of our state elected officials, including I'm going to get
Robert Stevens, Tim Rose over there,
Mike Sparks over there. We're going to go visit Ethnics, which is a Latin business in Smyrna. Grow from one location. They're in 5 states now, and so we're just constantly moving the needle.
That's right.
Well, to reach minorities, especially African American females, that I had read was the fastest growing target area of entrepreneurs. You know that was black females. Now, that's what I read. But here's
I believe it.
Small Business Development Center. If folks don't know about this, it's at the Chamber of Commerce on the 2nd floor. They have free consulting over there. It's a partnership with Jennings Jones College of Business.
Galen's a good friend of mine. He runs it.
It's tsbdc.org if folks want more information. Tennessee Small Business Development Center. Thank you, Roger Thomas. Thank you, Jeremy Smithson. Thank you, Joshua Rosales. And Tiffany, I'm really happy that you're here. Seriously.
Yeah.
They know I'm thrilled that you're now the new producer.
Well, I'm glad to be here. I am.
All right.
And we gotta chat more. But being an entrepreneur, it's a lot of faith. It's a lot of stress. You're never off. It's so much.
Well, it's a blessing to have you, because you're like-minded.
Oh, yeah.
And you're going to connect with Angela. Isn't Angela a sweetheart?
She is.
Where's she at? Angela, wave at us, girl. Angela, wave at us. Anyways, folks, we'll catch up with y'all next week. Thank you, Tiffany.